Hi, everybody, and welcome to this edition of Ask a Witch. I'm Katrina Rasbold, and I've been a practicing witch for almost 40 years. The last 10 years or so of that, I've worked as a professional witch doing cleansings, readings, and classes, and also spell work. Stop it, dog. For clients out there in the world. And in teaching the classes that I do, I'm also often asked different sorts of questions. And I figure if my students want to know, you might want to know too. And that's how the Ask a Witch series was born. So, what we're going to talk about in this edition is what is the difference in witches, Wiccans, and pagans? And this is something that a lot of people know, but there's just a lot of people that don't know. So, here's the best way that I can explain it. So, Wicca is a religion, and it was developed way back in the ancient times of the 1950s. And Wiccans really kind of took over the conversation about witchcraft for a while. We had a lot of books that came out called The Complete Book of Witchcraft, which was actually the complete book of Wicca when you read it. It was all about Wicca, not about witchcraft, which is something kind of different. We had What Witches Do by Stuart Farrar, and that was also about what Wiccans do, not about what witches do. So we had a number of books come out about how witches are and what they do and what witchcraft is that was actually detailing the components of Wicca, not witchcraft. So that's kind of where the confusion set in about what's what, because most Wiccans identify as witches and are witches. But Wicca makes up a tiny percentage of the world of witchcraft. There's all these other paths out there with people that do identify as witches who are not Wiccan. And they practice probably differently than most Wiccans do. So witches are not always Wiccans, but Wiccans are usually witches. So that's kind of like saying that not all Baptists are General Baptist. So the other word that we have of terms that people want to know about is pagans. Now, pagans are people of the earth, and pagans will usually identify as polytheistic, meaning that they believe in more than one god, not just the Christian God, but multiple gods and goddesses. And also, pagans were not usually the royal ruling group. So that's why they got the name of people of the earth, because they were people that worked the earth and tilled and gardened. And as such, they developed a strong system of rituals and magical energy work to infuse the harvest and to assure a healthy and wonderful harvest. And that then became sort of a village practice all over Europe and in other countries as well. So the pagans were the ones that were developing the cyclical types of magic that followed the harvest year. So when we look at how it presents today with neo-paganism, which means the new pagans, paganism is like the umbrella that everything else falls under. So it's the overarching term. And again, it's usually going to be people that believe in multiple gods and goddesses, people who follow the cycles of the year. So that can be Wiccans, that can be witches, that can be druids. There's many different denominations of spiritual path under the umbrella of paganism. So going back to the other metaphor that I used, think of Christianity as an umbrella, and under that we have Methodist and we have Pentecostal and we have Baptist and Pilgrim Holiness and all these different little subsections. And it's the same thing for paganism. We've got paganism as the umbrella with all these little different paths underneath it. So that's the difference in Wiccans, witches, and pagans. Another point to bring up is that Wicca is a religion. Paganism itself is not a religion. And witchcraft is not a religion. Those are ways of living and practices. Wicca specifically is a religion, and it is recognized as a religion in the United States as well. So that's the difference as far as I'm concerned about witches, Wiccans, and pagans. Y'all might have different ideas about it, but that has been my experience. And so that is how I would answer that question. Thanks for being here, everybody. Bye bye.